Did you know some of the simplest things you still do after 65 might be your best signs you'll live to 100? Not wild genetics, not miracle supplements, but everyday abilities can quietly reveal just how resilient, strong, and long-living you really are. In this video, we're going to look at 8 specific things that show you're on track to live a longer, healthier life, possibly even to 100. These aren't guesses. They're backed by decades of studies on healthy aging, and they reflect the core systems that keep you mentally sharp, physically mobile, emotionally engaged, and fully independent. Each one may seem small on its own, but together they form a picture of someone whose mind and body are aging with strength, not surrender. Someone who may not realize just how well they're doing until they see these signs laid out in front of them. Stay with me through the end, because you'll not only discover what these signs are, but why they matter and how to protect them as long as possible. If even one or two of these sound like you, take it as a reason for pride and maybe a nudge to keep going. Let's dive in. Number 1, the ability to walk for 30 minutes without needing to stop. One of the clearest, most consistent signs that your body's aging well is your ability to walk for 30 minutes without stopping. Not racing, not speed walking, just steady, purposeful movement. Whether you're strolling through your neighborhood, walking the aisles of the grocery store, or simply pacing the driveway, that simple act holds a tremendous amount of information about your long-term health. Why is this so important? Because walking is more than just getting from point A to point B. It's a full body coordination test. Your lungs, your heart, your muscles, your joints, even your brain, they all have to work together in real time. So if you're over 65 and you can still walk comfortably for that length of time without shortness of breath, joint pain, or the need to rest, that's not just a sign of good health. It's a sign of real resilience. There's a reason doctors often ask older patients how far or how often they walk, because the answer tells them about so many things: your cardiovascular strength, your balance, your energy, and even your risk of decline. People who walk regularly and easily tend to have lower blood pressure, better memory retention, healthier blood sugar levels, and stronger immune responses. It's all connected, but there's something deeper going on here too. The ability to move through the world with ease reflects how connected you still are to life itself. You run into neighbors, you take in fresh air, you stay upright and engage with your surroundings. Walking in many ways keeps your mind and body synchronized with the rhythm of daily life. I once met a man named Jerry. He was 80 and sharp as a tack. His secret? He walked every single morning, rain or shine, nothing intense, just a quiet 30-minute loop around his block. He said it helped him think, helped him sleep, helped him feel like himself. And as it turned out, Jerry had outlived most of his peers, not because he chased youth, but because he stayed in motion. Now, if walking for 30 minutes sounds like too much, that's not a reason to worry, but it is a reason to pay attention, because stamina can fade quietly, often before pain shows up. You may start taking shorter routes, skipping steps, or sitting more than you used to. That's how decline begins, not with a sudden collapse, but with a slow shrinking of your world. The good news: your walking ability can be preserved and even improved with consistency. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy shoes. You just need to keep moving. Every step you take is a signal to your body: I'm still here, I'm still strong, I'm still going. So if you're someone who still walks 30 minutes with ease, hold on to that with pride. And if you're not quite there yet, take it as a gentle challenge. A little more each day, a little farther each week, because every minute you stay on, your feet is one more moment you're keeping your body young. Number 2, the ability to remember names, appointments, and daily tasks with ease. If you're over 65 and you can still recall names without hesitation, remember appointments without needing constant reminders, and keep up with your daily tasks without feeling mentally foggy, then you are already doing something remarkable. Mental sharpness at this stage in life isn't just a nice bonus. It's one of the clearest indicators of long-term brain health and even life expectancy. Our brains naturally process information a bit slower with age, and we might take an extra moment to find a word or retrace a thought. That's normal. But what we're talking about here isn't a delay. It's the ability to retain, organize, and retrieve information consistently. If you still catch yourself saying things like, oh yes, I remember her, her daughter's name is Sarah, or if you can manage your own schedule without relying too heavily on others, it shows that the pathways in your brain are still well connected and active. Cognitive strength at this age means more than just remembering trivia. It means you're maintaining your independence. You're navigating your own life. You're making decisions, solving problems, and staying mentally involved in the world around you. That kind of mental agility doesn't just happen by accident. It's often the result of years of habits that protect your brain. Good sleep, regular movement, balanced eating, meaningful social interaction, and curiosity. There's also a hidden confidence that comes with mental clarity. You trust yourself. You don't second guess every little thing. You're not living in a state of worry over whether you forgot something. That peace of mind alone protects your emotional health, lowers stress, and helps you enjoy the life you've built. Take the case of Helen, 77, who runs her own schedule down to the minute. She remembers birthdays, coordinates church meetings, and still plays word games every evening with her husband. Her doctor once told her she had the cognitive clarity of someone 20 years younger. And it wasn't luck. It was consistency. She read books, stayed social, asked questions, and never stopped learning. Her curiosity was her strongest medicine. The truth is the brain loves challenge. And the moment we stop giving it something to reach for, whether it's a crossword puzzle, a recipe, a phone call, or a new hobby, it begins to power down. So if you're still remembering details with ease, you're not just lucky, you're healthy. And if you've noticed yourself slipping a little, forgetting names more often, needing more reminders, or losing track of time, that doesn't mean decline is inevitable. The brain is far more adaptable than we think. New neural pathways can still be built. Habits can still be rewired, but it starts with awareness and the decision to stay mentally engaged. So if you still have a sharp memory and can move through your day with mental clarity, hold on to that. Nourish it, challenge it, keep it working. Because a mind that stays clear at this stage in life is more than just a tool, it's a gift, and often it's one of the strongest signs that your road ahead might be longer than you think. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, the ability to get up from a chair or the floor without using your hands. There's something powerful in being able to rise from or even the floor without needing to brace yourself or push off with your hands. It might not sound like a big deal, but this simple movement holds a surprising amount of meaning when it comes to your health, mobility, and independence after 65. Why? Because standing up from a seated position without using your arms requires strong leg muscles, solid core stability, good balance, and coordination. All of these are essential for preventing falls, maintaining confidence in your movements, and preserving the kind of freedom that makes daily life feel manageable and dignified. Think about it. When you can rise smoothly from the couch, get out of a car easily, or even get up from the floor after picking something up, it's a sign your body is still functioning as a unified responsive system. And more importantly, it shows that your lower body hasn't lost its strength. That's critical because studies have shown that leg strength, especially in the quadriceps and hips, is one of the strongest predictors of longevity and fall prevention in older adults. Falls are not just accidents. For many seniors, a single fall can begin a cascade of health complications, injuries, hospital stays, reduced confidence, and eventually less movement. That's why being able to stand up on your own, particularly without using your hands, is such an important marker. It's more than convenience. It's a reflection of how well your musculoskeletal system is aging. Take someone like Frank, age 75. He never cared much for gyms, but every morning, he made it a point to sit down on his living room rug, do a couple of stretches, and then stand back up. No help, no hands. When he mentioned this to his physical therapist during a routine checkup, they told him, "You're doing better than half the people a decade younger." That's because the ability to rise from the floor is something many people start to lose without even realizing it until they try it one day and find they can't. But the good news is, This ability is trainable. If you've started to notice yourself using your hands more often to get up or needing extra effort to push out of a chair, that doesn't mean it's over. It just means your body's asking for support. Even simple chair squats, leg raises, or seated exercises can help restore strength and coordination. What matters is not whether you've slowed down, it's whether you're still able to lift yourself with control. That movement represents more than muscle, it represents autonomy. The ability to get up on your own means you're not depending on others for something as basic and vital as movement. It means your nervous system, your brain, and your muscles are still talking to each other and working together. So if you can stand up without using your hands, take a moment to be proud of that. That's not something to take for granted. It's a reflection of strength, resilience, and the kind of body that still has many active years ahead. Because the day you stop getting up with ease is the day your world begins to get smaller. And it doesn't have to be that way. Number 4, the ability to sleep through the night and wake up feeling refreshed. One of the clearest signs that your body is aging well, often overlooked, is how you sleep. If you're over 65 and still able to fall asleep easily, stay asleep through the night, and wake up feeling rested, you're doing something that many people your age quietly struggle with. Why does this matter so much? Because good sleep isn't just about feeling alert in the morning. It's during deep sleep that your brain does its cleanup work, clearing waste, consolidating memories, and repairing nerve connections. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your body shifts into a healing mode. And for older adults, that restoration process is even more essential because your immune system, your brain, and your hormones all rely on quality sleep to keep functioning well. When sleep starts breaking down, everything else does too. People who don't sleep well tend to have more trouble with memory, mood, blood sugar, and even balance. Poor sleep is linked to higher risks of stroke, depression, weight gain, and dementia. And the worst part is, many seniors just accept poor sleep as part of aging. But it doesn't have to be. Let me tell you about Carol, age 79. She started waking up 4 or 5 times a night and thought it was normal. Everyone my age does, she said. But when she finally mentioned it to her doctor, they ran some simple checks and found that her iron levels were low and she was mildly dehydrated. A few changes in her evening routine, more water earlier in the day, an iron-rich snack before bed, and a consistent lights-out time helped her sleep improve dramatically. She said it felt like her whole world had opened back up. There's a reason why sleep is called the foundation of health. You can eat well, move daily, stay social, but if your sleep is broken, the benefits of everything else are cut in half. And if you wake up still feeling tired, that's not restful sleep. It's just unconsciousness. If you're someone who still sleeps through the night and wakes up with enough energy to take on the day, that's not something to overlook. That's your body telling you that its internal systems, your hormones, your nervous system, your stress response are still in sync. That balance is harder to maintain with age, and it often goes before other symptoms appear. Now, if your sleep isn't quite where it should be, don't write it off. There are dozens of factors that affect sleep quality, from temperature and light to medications and meal timing. But what matters most is recognizing that sleep is not just passive. It's one of the most active things your body does for your long-term health. And here's the key. Deep, consistent, high-quality sleep isn't a luxury. It's a vital sign. If your body still knows how to wind down, stay restful, and rebuild itself every night, it means your systems are still working together in harmony. And that kind of harmony is one of the strongest signs you're built for the long haul. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, the ability to maintain meaningful relationships and social connections. If you're over 65 and still maintain friendships, stay in touch with family, or regularly spend time with people who matter to you, then you're doing something most people underestimate, something deeply tied to longevity. Social connection isn't just a comfort in later life. It's a lifeline, and it plays a far bigger role in how long and how well you live than many people realize. Studies have shown that consistent social engagement is just as important to your health as regular exercise or a good diet. In fact, loneliness has been linked to increased risks of heart disease, depression, weakened immunity, and even early death. But connection, genuine connection, helps protect against those risks. It keeps your mind sharp, your mood steady, and your body more resilient. That's because relationships do something no pill or supplement can do. They give you a reason to get up in the morning, a reason to laugh, a reason to care. And that sense of being seen, being needed, being valued, it nourishes you. Not just emotionally, but biologically. Take someone like Robert, age 82. After his wife passed, he lived alone. But every week, without fail, he met up with a small group of friends at a diner down the street. They talked, joked, told the same old stories, and he said that 1 hour each week gave him the strength to keep going. He called it medicine without a label. And he wasn't wrong. Social interaction actually affects the levels of stress hormones in your body. It improves blood flow to the brain. It supports better sleep. And when you talk to people who care about you, your body literally responds by reducing inflammation and supporting immune balance. Even simple gestures count. A phone call, a lunch date, a short visit from a neighbor. You don't need a crowd, you just need connection. Because isolation doesn't always look like sitting alone. Sometimes it looks like going days without meaningful conversation or not having someone you feel safe opening up to. That kind of emotional solitude can wear on your health in ways that are invisible but powerful. So if you're someone who still keeps in touch with friends, checks in on others, or finds joy in conversation, you're doing more than staying social. You're protecting your mind and body from the slow wear of loneliness. And if your circle has shrunk a bit, if your world feels quieter than it used to, that doesn't mean it's too late. Start small, join a class, call an old friend, say yes to an invitation you'd usually decline, because just one meaningful exchange each day can turn the tide. Human beings are wired for connection. We survive on it. We thrive on it. And when you're still actively nurturing those connections after 65, you're doing more than most. You're choosing life in the most human way possible. Number 6, the ability to prepare and enjoy nutritious meals on your own. If you're over 65 and still preparing your own meals, choosing ingredients, cooking them with care, and sitting down to enjoy what you've made, then you're doing far more than just feeding yourself. You're demonstrating one of the most essential and underestimated signs of long-term vitality, daily self-sufficiency, grounded in awareness, discipline, and dignity. Preparing meals may seem ordinary, but it's actually a complex skill. It involves planning, movement, balance, memory, and often a sense of purpose. You're choosing what to eat based on what your body needs. You're navigating your kitchen with safety. You're timing ingredients, managing heat, and making decisions. That means your body and mind are still working in harmony. More than that, though, your ability to cook and enjoy your own food shows that you still value your health and that you're not passively drifting through the day. You're still choosing nourishment over convenience, still engaging with the details of daily life, still investing in the quality of your future. Let's take a real example. I knew a woman named Lorraine, 85 years old, who cooked breakfast every single morning, eggs, toast, fruit, and coffee, just the way she liked it. She said, "It's how I know I'm still myself." Her son once offered to bring her frozen meals to make things easier, and she smiled and said, "That's the first step to giving up." To her, preparing food wasn't just about eating, it was about independence. And there's a deeper layer to this. The types of food you prepare and enjoy say a lot about how your body's aging. When older adults still eat leafy greens, colorful vegetables, lean proteins, nuts, and grains, it's a strong sign that they're keeping inflammation in check, maintaining muscle mass, supporting their brains, and protecting their hearts. But when eating habits slip, when meals become irregular, overly processed, or skipped altogether, it's often one of the earliest signs of decline. That's because cooking requires energy. And when someone begins to lose that energy or that interest, it often shows up first in the kitchen. They stop planning meals, they snack instead of eat. The refrigerator looks emptier than usual. These are the little things that whisper before bigger symptoms start to shout. So if you're still cooking meals you enjoy, if you find satisfaction in preparing and savoring your food, that's something to celebrate. It means you're still engaged. And that sense of care extends far beyond the plate. But if you've lost the spark, if cooking feels like a burden, or if you find yourself skipping meals, it might be time to check in with yourself. Is it fatigue, mood, lack of appetite? Sometimes all it takes is a little inspiration or support, a shared meal, a new recipe, a trip to the farmer's market to reignite that connection to food. Because food isn't just fuel, it's memory, it's rhythm. And when you're still creating it for yourself after 65, you're holding on to something profoundly life-affirming. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 7, the ability to handle your own finances and medications without confusion. If you're over 65 and still managing your own bills, bank accounts, and medications without needing someone to double-check your work, you're doing something truly significant. This kind of mental organization and daily responsibility is a powerful sign of long-term cognitive strength and independence. And it tells us a lot about how your brain is functioning. Handling your finances isn't just about writing checks or using a credit card. It involves memory, logic, attention to detail, and long-term planning. You have to keep track of due dates, understand statements, recognize errors, and avoid scams. That's executive function in action. It's your brain operating at a high level, quietly, consistently, and effectively. And when it comes to medications, the stakes are even higher. Knowing what to take, when to take it, and how much without missing doses or making mistakes requires sharp attention and discipline. Medication errors are one of the most common causes of hospital visits among seniors, so the ability to manage them on your own isn't just a small victory. It's a major health safeguard. What this all points to is decision-making. If you can still make clear, timely, informed decisions about your money and your health, you're protecting your independence every single day. And that skill, often taken for granted, is one of the first things to fade when cognitive decline begins. I remember Henry, 78, who still tracked all his expenses on a yellow legal pad, balanced his checkbook each week, and reviewed his medication list every month. When his daughter offered to take over his finances, he said, "Not yet. I want to keep my mind sharp." And he was right. His attention to detail kept him mentally active, confident, and in control of his own life. If you've started noticing small slips, maybe missing a payment, mixing up a pill bottle, or needing help organizing your schedule, that's not something to hide. It's something to explore. Because sometimes small changes in your routines can protect you from bigger risks down the road. Automatic payments, pill organizers, clearer calendars. These are tools, not signs of failure. What matters most is your awareness and your willingness to stay involved. Because once you stop paying attention to your financial and medical life, you give that control to someone else. And while help is sometimes necessary, being able to direct your own affairs is deeply tied to your self-respect and autonomy. So if you're still managing these aspects of your life without trouble, that's not just doing fine. That's a sign your mind is still sharp, your systems are still strong, and your life is still under your command. And for someone aiming to live to 100 with quality and grace, that's one of the most powerful signs there is. Number 8, the ability to wake up each day with a sense of purpose and curiosity. If you're over 65 and still wake up in the morning with a reason to start your day, something you look forward to, something you care about, something that pulls you out of bed, that's not just good for your mood. It's one of the most powerful predictors of long life that we know of. Because purpose isn't just a feeling, it's fuel. It keeps the mind alert, the heart engaged, and the body willing to keep going. Having a sense of purpose doesn't mean you have to be working or chasing big goals. It can be as simple as tending a garden, walking a dog, writing in a journal, volunteering, calling your children, helping a neighbor, or even learning something new just because it interests you. That little spark of, I have something to do today. That's what gives the day meaning. And over time, it gives your life structure, direction, and joy. Researchers have found again and again that people who have a reason to wake up in the morning, no matter how small, tend to live longer, get sick less often, and recover faster when they do. It's not magic, it's motivation. Purposeful people move more, they connect more, they take care of themselves more, and their bodies respond by staying younger, longer. Take someone like Ruth, 84, who makes handmade cards for every birthday in her church group. She says it's silly, but it makes people smile. What she may not realize is that in doing that, she's also strengthening her memory, keeping her hands dexterous, staying socially connected, and giving her heart a sense of belonging, all through one small weekly ritual. On the other hand, when people lose that sense of purpose, things tend to decline. Days feel longer, energy dips, conversations feel flat, and the future feels less inviting. That's why some people seem to age rapidly after retirement or after a loss. They haven't just lost a job or a person, they've lost their direction. But here's the beautiful thing. Purpose can always be rebuilt at any age. It just has to be meaningful to you. It doesn't have to impress anyone or meet some big goal. It just has to matter enough that you want to do it again tomorrow. If you still feel curiosity, if you still want to learn, to help, to grow, to give, that's not just a sign that your spirit is strong. It means your brain is still flexible, your emotions are still active, and your body is still listening to your will to live. And in many ways, that's one of the clearest signs you're not just aging, you're still becoming. So if you wake up with something to look forward to, cherish that. Because that quiet drive inside you might be one of the strongest reasons you've made it this far, and one of the reasons you'll keep going longer than most expect. Final thoughts. So now that you've heard all 8 signs, how many did you recognize in yourself? Maybe 1 or 2 stood out right away. Maybe you saw yourself in more of them than you expected. Either way, take a moment to really sit with that. Because if you're over 65 and you can still do these things, it's not just luck. It's a sign that your mind and body are still working in remarkable ways. These aren't just nice-to-have abilities. They're early indicators of longevity, independence, and quality of life. Every one of them reflects systems that are still strong. Your heart, your muscles, your brain, your habits, your purpose. And when all of those are still working together, that's the kind of harmony that adds not just years to your life, but life to your years. Of course, not everyone will check every box. And that's okay. This isn't a test, it's a roadmap. It's a reminder of what matters most and what's still within your reach. Because many of these things can be regained, strengthened, or improved with time, attention, and a little consistency. If there's one thing to take away, let it be this: longevity isn't only about avoiding illness. It's about staying involved in your own life. It's about movement, memory, purpose, connection, and self-respect. And if you still have even a few of these signs in your life, then you're already ahead of the curve and well on your way to a longer, fuller future. So here's what I'd love to know from you. Which of these 8 signs do you see in yourself today? And which one do you want to work on the most this year? Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.